Yenge, Mbote, Bampangi, Wakanda, Kembo, Hallelujah, Bayate, nKosi, Yenge Keno, Luciemi, Osikamene, Tusikamene if it's morning for you. Want to Dumalang, Salbona, Tayo, okay. All these Bantu languages are connected because we know there were multiple languages, but there was the one holy tongue, or Santu tongue, the Bilaka tongue. But the world has been made unaware of this because it was not the Yiddish or the Aramaic of the Phoenician mixture, but it was the Bakongo, Kikongo language. And I'm going to talk about why they're hidden from this, because this video is going to be entitled "The Bana Bilaka versus the Bounty Hunters of the Devil." Why am I talking about this? I'm going to take you back to the movie The Golden Child, if anybody's ever seen that with Eddie Murphy. This was kind of a mockery of Simon Toko and people like him, okay? The devil's bounty hunters have always been looking for Bana Bilaka, okay? The world doesn't know about it because they don't know what happened 500 years ago. They don't know what happened 1900 years ago. And they have been misled about the truth, okay? Like we said, the devil will be the biggest trick that he has done to people, and people want to say, oh no, there's no good and bad. I said, that's because you're listening to people with a forked tongue. Forked tongue means is that you're going to get a truth with a lie. And this is the whole concept of esoteric knowledge, people, okay? You're always going to get the forked tongue, and you're always going to get the good with the bad. And the problem is the bad is done in secret, the good is done in the open. Remember, nKusuwa Kongo said, don't go out and show your good deeds before men. Okay, this is the hypocrisy of the esoteric people, because that's why they're boasting about their good deeds before men, because they follow the concept of the Pharisees, okay? They do it in secret. And you'll be rewarded in secret, okay? So it's not about putting out your work into the open, like as if I got to show you how good a person I am. No, the Most High he don't like that. He wants to see, you know, he wants that relationship between you and him. When he sees it, it's like, okay, I see you, I'll take care of that, okay? And see, in Christianity and Islam and Judaism and and many other religions, you know, it's all about people wanting to show how good they are. And the Most High is not about show. It's about quiet. It's about secret. Show me how good you are when nobody's looking. Okay? Show me what you're doing when it's just you and me. Okay? And that's what people don't understand is you've been conditioned for this. So I'm going to begin with my music. Again, I have it back connected to the computer, so hopefully this helps. Because the television obviously wasn't working. Again, I don't own the rights to any of this music. Not for copyright purposes only. I mean, I don't have the copyright. It's for edification only. It's not for redistribution of any kind, and not for me to use for resale or for benefit. Simon Yuda. Are you? Today we're going to talk about why many people have already missed the boats, missed the opportunities, because they got locked up. That's why they're upset, because they should have known better. They feel that they got betrayed, and find out why. The whole purpose for trapping Bana Bilakas is to get you involved in things where you take a hold, you get into religion, which means bind again. Yeah, mbotika zangu, Bayate nKosi, Kimbangu. Mfumu Yisu is coming back. He's already here. Stuff is already happening. And telling you some stuff has been going down. They're not telling you what's going on. Because the Bana Bilaka are starting to rise now. And it's starting to do things that's, it's like, whoa, X-Men like stuff. Already. Then I'm talking about this is the battle, this is the true battle of the X-Men. The Bana Bilaka versus the bounty hunters of Lucifer. This is what we're in. This is the fight that we're in. That the world doesn't see behind the scenes. Them the Bana Bilaka uses the power of the Malay Kongo, not the physical power, but the spiritual power. That's the Bana Bilaka. It's a difference. That's why there's Kindoki, the devil bounty hunter. They use the witchcraft, the Kindoki, they don't. Many people don't even know it. They look like us. They're almost indestructible. Okay, but they're using the wrong power. Them hallelujah. Bana Bilaka is indestructible. Cannot be killed. They can come again and again and again and bring damage. Okay? This is what they don't want the world to know about. Bayate nKosi. All right, play this right here. Once again, I don't own the rights to these songs. It's for redistribution. It's not for redistribution. It's not for me to profit from. It's not for me to make money off of. But it's for me. So I hope you nKusuwa mbotika, welcome. I honor all of you. Last time I didn't do my prayer. Almost I was like, you forgot something. So I got the monitor was like, you forgot something. So I'm gonna make sure I do that this time. But I'm gonna give honor to our nKusuwa. Yahweh, Yahweh Kongo. Yisu, we didn't say no Jesus. Yisu, and it's short for Yahweh. The Prince of the Almighty, but Yahweh, the Most High's way, the Prince of the Most High's way, Kongo, Yahweh Kongo, the Prince of the Most High's way of truth. Whoa, this is our banner in the kingdom of Kongo de Tokela. But don't think we didn't know him. We did. We just knew the right way to teach it, not the imposter way. Let's start up. All because of the arguments. People under the Kindoki. Hallelujah. Mbote. Bana Bilaka, children of the promise. Kimbo na takanzami Bayate nKosi Kimbo, hallelujah. Luvuvamu Yala Bayate. We're going to talk about why the world is so asleep and what was the plan. Okay. I talked about to people on Twitter. They're just, I know people are just mind blown with the stuff that I'm telling them. I know that I had a phone call yesterday. People are just like, wow, you know. And I know sometimes I get too detail oriented. I'm going to give you a synopsis of exactly what has been taking place, because everything was about Bana Bilaka. The whole world doesn't know that everything was about the X-Men and the Bana Bilaka. Everything was about the revenge against the sons of their jailer. Because anyone who is against the Most High is against his children. And that's how it was always supposed to be. The problem is you were not ever supposed to know who his children are, because his children continued to rebel against him because they would rather be with the liar who comes with the forked tongue than the one who speaks nothing but truth. Okay? And of course, there's been a lot of allegories and a lot of connotation and a lot of, movies and books and that talk about stuff like this. But what you don't understand is you're getting a lot of information that's glorifying the non-Bana Bilaka, who think they are Bana Bilaka but are not. Okay? So the real interpretation of Revelations 3 and 9 is, I know thy works and thy poverty, and I know that those who say they are Bana Bilaka, but are not, but are the synagogue of Shaitani. And what that means is anybody who is not Abantwe Baklistu is going to be the Beth El of the Canaanites. Because remember, Beth El, where they had those temples, was all satanic, and they were doing rituals. But the problem was, it still looked good. And what I mean was, they have lied to you about many of these civilizations in the past, because even when, and as I now understand, I was doing some research about his daughter. So yes, the Bana Bilaka, the Bana Betu, the Bana Solide, we are the grandchildren of Nimrod. That's why he wanted to kill Abana, because his daughter was his grandmother, because she was married to Eber, and that's what you get the Hebrew from, right? But she was not worthy of Tapanzambi's level of this is why you don't get equal. You know, when they say you can't be married to or unequally yoked with an unbeliever, because she really felt that her father was king, and that her brother, who was Tammuz, which is now, I'm gonna tell you, is our uncle, that he was the Messiah. Okay, and nKusuwa, the spirit. But see, the problem was Eber. He was from the tribe of Mfumu. He's like, hey, I'm not. You know, this is when we were. This is how you can get under spells. This is why Tatanzambi had to purify Abana from these things, because Nimrod's mother was the wicked witch. She was married to Cushi, and then had Nimrod, and then he was disgraced, and then she married her son. Okay, so this is all where you get this concept of they don't want to talk about it, but this is where the spirit of Lilith plays their role. And so technically her, you know, she had children with Nimrod, but the one child that would become the fake Messiah was the one that he lost his phallus for, because he was doing the wickedness, okay? With, you know, because he's like, this is unholy. Okay, the Most High is like, this is not okay. This is a desecration, okay? And I know people talk about, I guess they would call the 42 Ma'ats or whatever. Somebody was talking about that. I've never actually gone into that, but people think that this is something that's like what people don't understand is there was a holy book that has always existed called the Nkanda. The Nkanda comes from the Most High's throne, comes from his heart, comes from his power, comes from everything that he's being in his Mwanda carries it. The Kuswa Kongo, Mfumu Yisu, who was there from the beginning also, he is always supposed to be the caretaker or the giver of the law, because the Most High knew in the beginning that even though when he made Adama, which is why they were wondering why he even made him in the first place, when they knew he was going to be, but the Most High had a plan that they didn't understand that he was doing. Okay? Now, the children of the promise, the Bana Bilaka, these are children that are chosen. Okay, so before I go any further, when I come to say, Mana elam pesai certo. Kemu na tatanzami Bayate nKosi Kembo, yengi pema kalunga, yengi tatanzami pungu fala, matone masaki jila for this day, tatanzami. We ask tatanzami that with the words of my mouth and the meditation will be acceptable in your sight, our strength and our redeemer, Mfumu Queen Kongo, tatanzami, that you will bring out the more truth to this world of the message that Yesui was wanting to speak to our people, and that we will know more and more what to do in this time. Hallelujah. In Gita, we honor Kuswa Mfumu Yisu, the Mwana we honor the Unkuluntu of the throne of Nzambi and Pungu, the Maleke Makongo, Assalamu Maleke Makongo, Ikolele for zonas against the Tatanzambi. Bayate nKosi, we honor all of the righteous down to Tata Dama and Mama Eva, and all of those who are working to do the Most High's work. We honor you. I honor all of you. I continue to pray all the time for the Bakongo people, as well as the world, because see, there's going to be Kaina. Unlike the last time, this is what they're fighting against. They don't want this. There's going to be a remnant of Kaina that will serve Bana Betu. Okay. This is what they made this world to stop. They wanted to keep Revelation 3 and 9 the opposite, where Yakubi would always serve Esau and not the other way around. Okay. And the other tribes were used as accomplices. You know, one of the biggest lies they talk about, that's why I don't teach I can't teach American history anymore, because it's all fabrication. They know that there was people here. Like, for one, Bana Bilaka, we have been scattered across the earth several times. these civilizations, this is why, one of the reasons why they're making up the history is because of the God that they work for. He knows the history better than anybody, but he ain't gonna tell you, okay? And they have to make it to where it's all about the hunt of the Bana Bilaka. That's what they designed this world for, is to take away the children. And I'm going to go to Revelation 12 because everything about the world is about Revelation 9:11, Revelation 12, Revelation 17. Okay, these are revelations. And when he said, you shall not hear me forget until you say, blessed is he coming in the Lord, Christians think that they're doing that. Oh, Jesus is coming for us. We're going to talk about why they believe that. Okay, when in reality, this is a war against the Bana Bilaka. It always was. I'm going to talk about the deception of the 400 years. That's something that also was what people don't know. The 400 years ended a long time ago. But the Most High knew the time of the Gentiles had to be fulfilled, because the war, when the 400 years ended, is when the war against the Lamb started. That's what you don't know. Okay. But we have the people who hid this secret because it's all about protecting the master's house and not the real master's house, and staying away from him. Okay. Because they're working for the enemy, the God of the slave masters, instead of the God. And this is not just in America, because we're scattered into China. See, people don't know these families that run the world, they're one mind. They already gave the power over to the beast a long time ago. When they created Israel in 1948, that was that. You don't even know. That's when they started that. Okay, when the one man, one power, when they created the 1948 Israel, that was the fulfillment of that scripture. Okay, because the purpose was to stop what was going to happen in 1949, when Simon Toko brought down the Bana Bilaka and began to take back the lampstands from the churches. It was a fight, because remember, at that time, the world didn't know that the protest didn't work, and they still thought they had defeated Rome's authority when they never did. And they also were meant to think that the Eastern Orthodox churches were still all wrong when they had more knowledge than they did, but they were still suppressed. And then, of course, you had Islam, that they themselves said, no, this is the right religion. This is what you're supposed to be following. But then on top of that, behind the scenes, you have Judaism that was controlling that was controlling, like this is the bounty hunters. Okay. So now what we're going to get into is everything was designed for the Bana Bilaka, the children of the promise. Okay. So when we go to, I'm going to share my screen. Hold on a second, let me get this set up real quick. We're going to go to Revelations 12 again. And I like to read it from the complete Jewish Bible, because one of the reasons why I'm doing that is because they're coming from the original Hebrew, well, not the original, but translations of the Hebrew. They speak Hebrew, and they know that a lot of the translation from Latin and all these other things, they know that a lot of this stuff was to basically mantranize you, put you in a mantra, but they themselves are in a mantra. They don't understand that. So that's why they'll say, I was listening to this guy, he was talking about the perks of being a Jew, and they want him to come back to Israel, and he said it's more like a timeshare type of thing, where he's like, I'm not going back there. I'm not going to, because he says, I know what you guys are doing up to. And that made me get to think, is that I know what this is. I know why their people don't want to go back there. I know the real reason why. Okay. The problem is, we were watching that Gods and Kings again with and see, people don't even know all of these Bible movies and things. You know what? This is really a mockery of the Bana Bilaka. You just don't know that. But you're thinking that you have. See, this is to reassure. They do these things to reassure the Christians that this is the God. But see, you don't really watch the movies. It's like, do you not see the power that the movie is creating? Where is that power now? Why is it not working for you as a Christian? Where is the God that divided the sea? which it wasn't in the place that they told you, but because, see, like I told you, the Hittites, when they fought Ramses II, they were prisoners of war. So when the war was over, they were released and they started singing their song like you saw in the Prince of Egypt. Oh, and what they don't understand is the God that they were singing to is the same God that the Egyptians were worshiping. They're just the one and the same. So ISIS and ASHERAH, they were the same person. See, what these false gods did is they keep reinventing themselves for each civilization. So when you go to China, you go to South America and the Mayans, you go to you go to Southeast Asia with the Thailand people, because people don't understand. There's a reason why you see Hispanic people that look like they have Asian eyes, because there was trade going on with the Native Americans and the Chinese before the Europeans got here. That's why they don't want people going to look at that's why they made the Grand Canyon off limits, because it's going to prove to you that they lied to the Europeans, because the Europeans were the most gullible people that they ever made to this plan. They don't even know how gullible they made them, okay? This is why when you find people that say, okay, we know that all these organized religions are false. So then what do we follow? Do we follow the scientific mentality when that was created through the Jesuits, okay? Or do we go along with these religions? What do we follow? And see, that was the whole concept of what they were trying to erase when they took the Bana Bilaka into captivity, because of what Nzinga Mpemba did when he became a Catholic. When it was like we were already not the heathens, but we became like the heathens, who themselves were under the spells, that they were in fact the replacements because of those who were under the spells themselves, saying that they are Jacob. And then also because those are the fact that this was about the Watchers and their attempt to stop whatever was going to happen to them, like the days of Noka when they were judged by Hanoka. This is what they've been fighting for. Is like, we ain't going to get judged like Hanoka did again, so we're going to make sure. That was the whole point of stopping nKusuwa Kongo from coming to be the righteous judge, because Esau, when he became Nzuzi, a judge, he's like, I'm not giving up this position. But then the Most High would put our kingdom back on top each time. The Yakubi king was the judge with the priest of all of Isolele. But the problem was those kings were hypocrites, because they were not pure. They committed sins and they caused people to go astray. Okay? So this was the issue with our people, is we became stiff-necked because of people who were hypocrites. That's how we ended up with hypocrites over us who weren't supposed to be there. So like when we came back from Babylon is when the Phoenicians infiltrated with Greece, because like I said in Maccabee, they said, we were better off with the heathen after the Most High brought us back. He's like, say what? What are you talking about? You just came back from Babylon and you're saying that you were better off in Babylon? See, this is the mentality that we never get away from. We always think we're better off in Babylon than with the Most High. And so that's why we went right back into Babylon after he regathered us 800 years ago from running away from Babylon. And then we turned right around and said, oh, we're going to argue again because we need the temple and we need this and that. And it's like, you're going right back into the Babylonian mentality, because the Babylonian mentality or the Canaanite mentality was physical temple only and sacrifice to temples. Okay? That's why they have the scripture that says the Most High don't dwell in temples built of hands of wood and stone. But what Christianity and Islam and Judaism has been constricted into saying is it's all about the physical temple. That's why everybody say, I got to go to church, when you are supposed to be the church. Okay? I got to go to church. No, you are the church. What are you talking about? You don't go into a building. You are the building. Okay? Oh, well, we know that. We're just going to go gather together. It's like, you're not getting it. To be the building, to be the temple, means that you are the manifestation of the Bana Bilaka, of the power, Ngolo, which means is you are a god. But they say, oh, well, that's blasphemy. No. When you are like Messiah, like he said, and you do the things like you, then you become like me. Then we're Bapangi, we're brothers. He was a god figure. Okay, he was power. He was like, hey, I can make this happen and make that happen. Okay, he was a powerful figure. We have people talking about this. Okay, when we talk about Simon Toko, Bana Bilaka. Now, see, the reason why people think like that is because the bounty hunters of the devil are looking for these people. So they have to make the other people think that they are blasphemy thinking these things, when the point is, this is what they don't want people to know about. The people with power, the seeds. When it comes to, it talks about the seed sower and semi. Okay, what the woman from Revelation 12, and this is why they're teaching this wrong, was already here, and she has been planting these seeds, and this is what the devil is looking for. Like the movie, when they mocked it in the movie, The Golden Child. So each one of these golden children, they're looking to destroy them. Because when those people manifest themselves, they can take down these false gods. And it's like, no, we can't let this happen. Okay? So that's why they have taken the scriptures, burned them, retaught them, because see, even then, when our people messed up and brought in the converted people who are now say we are the descendants of Bana Betu, they said, no, you're converted into us. That's why when nKusuwa Kongo said, you're not even supposed to be running this place. What are you doing there? You're defiling the Most High's temple. You are selling, because see, the devil always understood is that I get my power from the Bana Bilaka, from the children of the promise. And if they know who they are, I lose my power. Okay? So everybody was an accomplice with all of the man-made religions that were made to bind again the Bana Bilaka from being powerful. Like, for example, I have family members that I know that they have a lot of power. But because of Christianity, you have been locked up. You don't have, but you've been pretending to think you have power. This is how they then use you like a puppet. So to give an idea, you have a ventriloquist, right? And a ventriloquist pulls the string, he sits on your lap, and he talks for the puppet. Okay? And the puppet does what the thing does. The whole world runs like this. They just don't tell you that. You have the sorcerers. This is why we're talking about many people are under sorcery. So you're doing sorcery, whether you're a witch or a warlock or not. You have these people that this is their job. Their job is to help control these things, okay? And then they act like they're not there. So you don't see that you're a puppet on the string and that you're in a world of deception, but they're going to masquerade. So when these people are doing this, they know how to make people act nice. So you think that they're like, oh, wow, hi, how are you? And then they know how to act angry. Oh, you know, and then they create a system that's designed to control all of this, like law enforcement, like governments, like all these different things. Okay, this is the families now that run the earth. Okay, and what they're doing is they're placing their people where they need to be, but where they are, no, they're untouchable, except they have to follow the rules of the Most High, and they lie about that. They know they have to follow those rules, but they act like they don't. Okay. So now, it says, now a great sign was seen in the heaven, a woman, a kente, how do you say, kente, I always forget how to say it, clothed with the sun under her feet, and on her crown of 12 stars. The 12 stars represent the 12 tribes. So then tell me what tribe the other nations belong to from this woman. She was pregnant and gave birth, and she screamed in agony of labor. And another sign was seen in the heaven. Now this sign, and this is how the Vatican knew something was up. This came in with the Fatima. So when the sign of the dragon was there, was the Fatima in Portugal. And then the sign of the woman was there, was what the three shepherds saw. Okay, but she wasn't, they covered it up because this is why only the children could see her, and she wasn't white. Her face was glowing, but her complexion was a black woman. Now, she wasn't a dark black woman, but that's why, because the Catholic Church has had this concept of Maria being this, what we call modified leper, because that's what white people really are. They don't realize they came from black people, but we'll go there in a minute. Is that the reason why people started getting lighter is because of the curse of Cain. He killed his brother. And then his children started killing people. And one of the things, like the devil, is a lack of melanin. Because melanin is what makes you stronger than others. This is why melanated people have built the earth from those who are less melanated, even though less melanated people have also used themselves, because they will do that. That's why they have issues with the whole world, each other. They have always been attacking each other, because this is what has been about dominance. Because see, in their world, it's about prestige. It's about power. It's about family names. It's about position. It's about who are you and who are you not. Okay, it's about what do you have, what don't you have. That's why you always see them talking like this. What is your portfolio? Who do you have? It's like the Most High is like, I don't care. Did you feed my sheep? And this is where they have been deceived in their churches, because Christianity was not about salvation. It was about, at that time, it was not about salvation. It was about prestige. It was about titles. It was about who are you and who are you not. But they don't even know who they are, because the Most High is like, no, the Bana Bilaka are the ones that run this world. But you have been lied to by the imposter, because I don't care about none of these things. Because I see your ancestry and your bloodline. I don't care. My job is to make sure that my bloodline that I have created is doing their job, so that then the world will run the right way. But we never did this. We always had issues with it, because we still listened. We had the pride in our heart, the stiffness that could come from the one that was an idiot. We still continued to carry him with us. And this was a curse that came down even from the beginning, okay? Because of something that Adama did. And so she was pregnant. Another sign was seen in the heavens. There was a great red dragon, 7 heads, 10 horns. Now the 7 heads represents, and this is going to trip you out. This is all about our captivities. The seven different versions of Babylonian captivity. Okay, because it's always been about Babylonian captivity from the time we built the towers of the time. Because see, people don't get it. All Egypt was another Babylon. It was all after he died, it became Babylon. Because see, when Kemet was, when his uncle was, or I should say nephew, because he was young. When his nephew came into power, he agreed that what Kami said, that he was a god, that he was the one that they would put over the tribe of the people. Remember I told you there was 3 princes for each son. That's how you know Kami was real. You didn't know about the 2 sons. People keep talking about that. There were 3 princes, one for Mfumu, one for Yapeta, and one for Kami. And Nimrod was the one that said, I'm gonna devour them all. Okay, so the 7 different kingdoms, these 7 heads represent each one of our captivities, including the one that we're in now. That's why they don't know what these 7 heads stand for, because they knew that we would go into our captivity 7 times. The Most High is always about that 7. Okay, but this would be the 7th one would be the last one. Okay. So now the 10 horns would represent the 10 kingdoms. Okay. So there's 7 captivities, and then there's 10 kingdoms, which is what the earth is right now. But they're lying to them. It's like, no, we're countries. No, you're kingdoms. Your people are, they lie. The president, it was funny because he was coming here yesterday. And then they had this incident that took place. And I don't know if they're claiming that this is part of it because they don't know why this train crashed. They had a train that messed up. It was actually military. I think this one they said was mostly cold. I thought it was military, but it could have had military on it. I don't know. But anyway, I don't think they usually put them together. So I could be wrong. But the bridge collapsed. And it's like, wait a minute, this bridge. What they're telling me, I'm like, ain't no way. Okay. Something is up. Okay. Well, I saw this the transport coming. I said, wait a minute. Because I know a lot of military things that they have done, you know, a group of military people. And it's like, why is this big boy coming in here unless they're diverting for weather? Because you don't usually see this type of plane coming in this area. Well, I didn't know he was coming into town, and it was his motorcade. And I was like, okay. My wife, and then after this, he said he canceled. He was getting ready to come here a few hours, and then he canceled because he was going to focus more about the war with Israel. And I'm like, man, get out of here. Something's going on. I'm telling you, because I told people, I said, when the Most High does something that shocks these people, they're not going to tell you about it. Because, see, he's been at war with them since 500 years ago. Actually, even before that. But technically, when the war against him really started, when they took us from the kingdom of Kongo. And see, I'm going to talk about how they lied about that is there were Bantus here during the Roman occupation of Salem, because the Romans did travel the world, but they covered this up because they wanted, once again, to build this concept. The Europeans that came here in 1907, no, what is it? Not 1607, which technically that date's still off. The Roanoke colonies and these 13 colonies, you were the first Europeans to ever set foot on this thing when it was a lie. The Romans and the Greeks were here before. Okay? Native Americans knew the history, but they made them shut up. They're like, hey, these white people don't know they've been here before. What? Some of them knew that. It's like, this ain't nothing new. We seen y'all in they had some of the historical records of it. They said, you Romans been here before. What are you talking about? They recognized the colors when they put up the what they call the fash, then they put it up in the Congress. They said, you people been here before. But they covered it up. And they said they found the Rosetta Stone, and they said, oh, we just happened. And no, because this was Atlantis on the East Coast. So they know the Romans were here before because the Romans worshiped the gods of Atlantis. Okay? They always did. We don't even at that. Okay? So now, they had to cover up the fact that there was cities here, there was this here, because they had to make the Europeans think that they built everything. It's a lie. They didn't do that. No, it was mostly the Moors teaching these things, and it was Bantu people teaching everybody. We were the teachers of the earth. When we taught the Most High's way, we taught everybody how to do things through the Manda. But ourselves got stiff-necked because we started to think, you know, like the Most High, when he was getting ready to fight against Xerxes, oh, they're going to think they did it themselves because we got like that. Oh, we so powerful, we don't need the Most High. This is why we had to become humble. It's like, are you serious? If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be here. This is what Isaiah's talking about. My people don't get it. If it wasn't for me, there's no you. What are you talking about? You can't be without me. Okay? Because we had gifts of the Spirit. We're going to talk about that. And those gifts made us think that we were proud. Okay? So now, when we talk about, he said he got a third of the knowledge with the stars. We talk about why they cover up what stars are with the Malakis. So these came down here because, see, what people don't understand is he was the prince of the air. Many of his Malekis were up in the air fighting the war against the Tanzambi. He took them down and brought them here. This is why when you go back and you look at the increase in knowledge of the Europeans, which some of it they still kind of had an understanding of, this is why things started to get modernized in this way. But we had also the knowledge too, which is what they lied about. And they said, oh, these niggas, they don't know nothing. They're a bunch of, they don't have, they lied. They had to teach us this because we taught them, not the other way around. But they had to make it look like they taught us. Because if they would have, if we would, that's what the whole concept of Willie Lynch and everything is like. No, these people did this, but you can't tell them that. Because then we won't be able to control them. They know who they are. You can't let them know who they are. That was the agenda of stopping the Bana Bilaka. Okay? That's why when people say, why does American history only talk about the slave trade up into the 1600s? Where is the before that? Well, if they do the before that, then it exposes the lie. Okay, that's the problem. They're going to see that we were not the stupid niggas like you think. And that's what they don't want us to know. Okay? So now, she gave birth to the son, a male child, who will rule all the nations with a staff of iron. This is why Simon Toko is the ruler of the world. But Rome didn't want you to know that. He is above the president of the United States. He is above Putin, the Russia. He's above Kim Jong-un. He's above all of the world elites. He's above Lucifer and his kingdoms. So Shaitani, because he said, I have my time, he said, this guy is running interference. And they, you know what? They put that, and it was funny because they put that in the movie Left Behind. You don't know that Left Behind been going on for 106 years. But they covered it up. He is the reason why they made Israel in 1948 and called them the holy people coming home. And they were trying to put them in, they tried to put him in Africa. You know why they were trying to put him in Africa? Because of this guy. We need to control what he's going to do. This is why they brought Hitler Hitler was brought to power because of Mayamona. We need you to come up with a plan. And the problem is that they have always used their own people. They always did. The Canaanites, that's why I said there's white Canaanites, there's black Canaanites, mixed with the other tribes, the Ashkenaz. I remember I went over that one scripture in the B when they were talking about when Alexander said these people are doing what? They still doing those things that Alexander saw that I read to you. They're still doing this, but they do it in a way that you don't see them no more. That's why people don't, we talked about, you don't know how you have defiled your own temple in ways that you'd have no idea what you have done because everything is done in secret. This is the whole concept of what they call the Red Shoe Club, okay? You will not speak of this because they know what it is with Shaitani. His bounty hunters are looking for the Bana Bilaka, the golden children, because he wants to crush this. When he did the mockery, I talked about it a long time ago about what they were talking about in Coding with Superman. That was the reversal of the house of El over the house of Nzambi. Okay? The red planet, Krypton, because he's mocking the Most High's kingdom as the cripples that I hate. Okay? We're the Kryptons that he's talking about. People don't even know. All right? That's why he said that in that kingdom, everybody is the same power. But when we come to earth, ooh, we got the superpower. So really, the Superman that you're seeing that they gave you is Thor. They're the same, one with the beard, one without. Okay? And the son of their jailer that they modified backwards is the X-Men, the Bana Bilaka, that they turned that into a different series when they made the comic books. So what they were coding in the time when they made the comic books was the battle between, and this is where you get the Doctor Strange and all that stuff that they made with that. That woman in the movie is Lucifer, showing you how to use the power that is ours, that they learned from us. That's why you see the Shaolin monks doing what they're doing. They have that power, but it's not coming from Tatanzambi. It's coming from Lucifer. That's why they do the dragon. Okay? But they know how to do our way. They have the ki and the chi energy mentality, which is what we had. See, Christians don't even know what the Shaolin monks are doing is what they're supposed to be doing in the spirit. But this is what the people who run the earth, they have this knowledge. That's why they see themselves as invincible, because they know what to do. You don't. So they control you. They know how to manifest this power, but okay? This is what they're doing in the mystery schools. But they don't understand this source of power came from the Bananzambi, the Bena Isolile, that was taken because we messed up. Okay? This is how the real, when you look at the movie Doctor Strange and the woman that is running it, that was Yesaya in the good way. Okay, that was nKusuwa, that was the Messiah. He was doing this stuff like that, okay, opening portals and poof and this, okay, he was doing like that. And showing us this is how you use the spirit. The Christians don't know that. They think it's sorcery. But they don't understand that those movies are showing the opposite of what you should be doing with the Wanda. He's mocking you. Okay? This is how you see the spiritual dimensions and the stuff, and how you manifest the power, because Bana Bilaka, these, like I said, this is why they needed us to be in religion, because this binds you from being able to do that. They always knew that. Okay? That's why the Masons won't let, that's what I said, the Masonic world don't want you to know that, because then you will do what they do. And now you're going to be like, oh, wait a minute. Now we're going to battle here. And you're going to win, because, see, when you have King Kongo, they can't touch you. It's like, no, it's like, oh, we done now. It's over. Because, see, when we fight like that with King Kongo, it's a wrap. Oh, I can open portals, and I can send the Maliki, and I can bring fire, and I can, okay? When you do that, that's why the Abafuni was like, hey, you want us to bring fire down these people that was disrespecting you? No, don't. We need to save these people. Okay, that's one of the reasons why Mayamona wasn't doing that when he showed up and they were angry. It was like, hey, get us up out of this mess. He said, no, the Most High don't want that, because we have too many people out here in America and Europe and everything that we need to get to. But see, that's the battle of the X-Men right there. Okay, Toko was more of an X-Men than Malcolm, and that when they talk about how Stan Lee was basing his characters off of Mayamona, but he couldn't say that. And off of Kimbangu. He couldn't say those guys. He could only talk about Dr. King and Malcolm X. They were Bana Bilaka, but they were locked up in religion. See, that's what Elijah Muhammad, he was a Bana Bilaka, but that's what the dragon does, is he gonna flip you to his side. Now we're the X-Men fighting each other, like Farrakhan and people like this. Okay, now it's like, hey, I'm on King Kongo's side, you over there pretending like you on King Kongo's side, but we're battling each other in spirit. But see, the people who are like that, they get a platform. The people who are like us, don't let them know who they are. Okay, this is why they'll never talk about people like us in the open, because then that exposes the fact that they have been coming for us. Okay, and these are the people that are fighting with the Lamb. When he says, and then they shall overcome them. That's why many of the things that we're doing, you're thinking that you can just fight with physical weapons. Is like, no, the Most High is like we did in Ghost Rider. His gun became, when he put it in the power behind it, and then boom, okay? That's the spiritual power of Nzambi and Pungu. This is why when we came over into the slavery, they had to disconnect us from this because of what we were able to do that they covered up, and they'd hid it in the archives. It's like, no, these people could do some things. So they made you say, oh, this is witchcraft, this is sorcery. And then they flipped it to their side so they could use it for their benefit against us. And they turned it against us. Okay? This is what they always do. Because their job is to destroy anybody who's chosen as a Bana Bilaka. Okay? So, but her child was snatched up to God. Now, see, this is where, when they read this to the Christian world, they're going to say, oh, but he's not here on earth. Yes, he was. All this is that he became invincible, meaning that the dragon could not touch him because the Most High put his power in him to do the things that they couldn't stop. So all of the 1900s that they have been teaching people was about destroying this child who now ruled them. Because they knew, that's why they talk about, well, who is this child and how is he ruling? Where did he go? Where does he come from? Because, see, he is the Messiah in spirit when he's doing this. Okay? So now, he is the fulfillment. This is what let me tell you how, this is how you know the lines of the Kimbangus and the Tokuis. The king that Kimbangu was talking about was Simon Toko. Now you're going to see why they came in there and said, oh, Toko was better than Kimbangu. Bang. No, Toko was the king that Kimbangu was talking about. That's when I told people, I said, I know who the king was. They played you, okay? And he said, I will be attached to this king, okay? That's why when Toko became the king, he said, I got to send more like me, and you will not be able to stop them. Now you have impersonators. Boom. I just blew your mind, right? So the Tokuists, they're following this king, but they are not becoming Mayamona like they should. They're doing exactly like what happened with Jesus. Oh, we're waiting on Jesus. We're waiting on this. We're waiting on that. No. You are supposed to be like the King of the Nations. Because Simon Toko, this is why, let me tell you why they killed Malcolm. Oh, this is going to get you. I don't know if this, I hope this gets saved. Don't take it down. He found out who this child was and said, wait a minute, Elijah Muhammad, because he thought, and see, many of the Muslims thought Elijah Muhammad was this child. This is why they'll say, oh, there's nobody like Elijah Muhammad. Toko was more powerful than Elijah Muhammad. And Malcolm X found out this. He said, oh, you people have been deceiving me. This guy is more powerful than Elijah Muhammad. This guy is doing these things. Oh, my, what? He was going to leave Islam to follow Toko's dream of uniting the nations of Africa. This came from Simon Toko himself to fulfill the prophecy of Kimbangu, to get the leaders of the earth to unite against the dragon. Now you're going to see why Mobutu was put in power and why Neto was trying to kill this guy. Do you see now why I went to the Jewish Bible? Because she gave birth to the male child who will rule over the nations with a staff of iron. And that's why Mfumu Yisu was with him. He said, I am not him, but he is with me. Tatanzambi is with me. They did not want the world to know the Messiah was here, ruling the nations. But the Most High said, this is why he was above the Rothschilds. He fulfilled the prophecy of when they would say, I will make them who say they are. So this is the war against the Mwana Dimeme. Okay? But the time of Mayamona, nKusuwa Kongo, had not come to rule in Salama yet, till the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Okay? This is why the 400 years, I'm going to talk about that. Okay? Nzinga was a Mayamona, Mpembe. He was a Bana Bilaka, but he did the same thing like Salama did. Oh, the women he got tricked to follow after the beauty. Now, I'm not going to sit there and this isn't about racism, about, white women, black women, whatever, whatever, Europeans. The concept is the Most High told us never mix with the heathen. Meaning, when we say heathen, anybody that's practicing worship of pagan gods. Now, see, the Italians, they lied to everybody because they knew Rome was a pagan god worship that never stopped. And they covered this up. They never stopped worshiping the pagan gods. That's why when the Knights Templars were serving the Pope, they were all pagans. So they were the same, okay? The problem is you were meant to believe that the Church of Laodicea had the authority when the only person that can, let me explain this to you. The only person that can have authority over the nations is a Yakuba king, a Bayuda king from the tribe of Judah is the only king that can rule the 12 tribes. That's it. From the seed of Davidi. The problem is you think that seed never continued with nKusuwa Kongo. There was always a Bayuda king. This is why we had to run away from the churches, because we said, no, the Bayuda king has to rule over the churches. Nobody can be there but this guy. Oh no, Jesus Christ is our only Lord and Savior. No, he picks the kings that rules over the 12 tribes. What are you talking about? He picks the disciples. He picks all of this. And because his mother was a Malewi. She was a Levite. This is why when the Khazars came into the mix and they were the Ashkenazi Jews, this is why they had to make Malia Makongo a white woman. Because she came from the Levites. And the Levites are now the Ashkenazi Jews. But now you go and you say, but wait a minute. Ashkenaz comes from Yapeta. So you are converted, not bloodline. So they can call themselves Jews all they want, but they are the converts. Okay? So it's like I said, hey, y'all want to say you the people? Go right ahead. I'm going to say, no, my people were always bloodline. And my bloodline, I threw them into bondage. And they're walking around you all day long because they wanted to go and worship the stupid Osiris again instead of me. So the devil, when that happened, he said, I am going to send my bounty hunters against the Bana Bilaka. So he used all of the Europeans. This is why they created the religious persecution on purpose to get you to come to America. Yeah, you were the guinea pigs when they did the 13 colonies. Because they already knew what they were making was Mystery Babylon the whole time. But they couldn't, like I said, if they didn't get you to believe what they were telling you, you would never have participated in the game. Because this is what it was. The fallen angels knew this was always about destroying the children of the promise. Okay? Now, her child was snatched up and she fled into the desert. Now, there's a desert in Africa. That's where she went. But she's in the spiritual realm. See, what it is that there's different levels of the Pambakalung, of the heavens. They lied. So she's up in where the Garden of Eden is, and the next level, she's up there in that desert. Okay? Where she was a place, where she has a place prepared by the Nzambi that should be taken care of for 3.5 years. That was when it said 1,260 days. She gave birth to Mayamona on the 24th of February, 19, because she went into his mother. His mother became one with her, and she gave birth on February 24th, 1918, and then she took off. And she started having more children, and she started coming down, okay? And she was placed before, and she was taken there for 126 days, which I told you that's 3.5 years if you go by the Most High's calendar of the 364 years, okay? All right? Now, if you're going by his time, that's why she's still making children, because she's still there. This is why people say, oh, I see this constellation of this woman and the dragon and all this, okay? All right? But technically, this is why Kimbangu came and said, I am announcing this king who will rule the earth. And it fulfilled part of the prophecy of Isaiah when he said he will come marred. He will look like he's marred and he's unclean, because the original Messiah was beautiful. He looked like Tatanzambi. He was handsome. He was an attractive man. Okay? Because he was a lamb without blemish, meaning that he was perfect, because you had to have a perfect lamb to do the Passover, the Paseka. They know. So he wasn't ugly. And he had body was perfect, and everything was the right proportions according to what the Most High wanted, which wasn't quite 6'5", he was shorter. Okay? Next, there was a battle in the heaven, Maliki, and they found us against the dragon, and the dragon and the angels fought back, but was not strong enough. So this war took place back in the 1900s. They covered that up. The fallen angels came down to prepare for the war with the Lamb, the one of the Amendment. Okay? Thrown out, and the serpent of the devil, and the deceiver of the whole world, he was hurled down to the earth, and his angels were hurled down with him. Okay? There's a person that showed They showed where there's he fell, it was boom, okay? Now, he fell before that because, see, what happened was when he was knocked out, he fell out of the kingdom, okay? So, and the problem is that this could be happened twice, because what happened is he came down and fell the first time, and then he rose back up as the prince of the air. Remember this? Because we messed up and he got put back up as the prince of the air, and he's over the air, the sea. So then the fight went again. That's why they did the whole concept of when they did the prophecy, when they said, oh, there's another war again. See how they coded that? Okay. And the dragon was thrown out of the ancient serpent known as the devil, and the deceiver whore, he was hurled down to the earth, and the angels were hurled down with him. Then I heard a voice saying, now have come Katanzami's victory and kinship and authority of his Messiah, because the accuser of our brothers who accuses them day and night before Katanzami has been thrown out. This is the word accuser, is Satani, of our brothers. Okay. mPadi. Who are the brothers of the angels? Or the mPadi, the Wakanda? Who are they? Who is he accusing? He's not accusing the Gentiles or the heathen. No. Who is he the accuser of? The house of Isolde. The people who break the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments. Oh, he broke that law, this and this and that. Why do you think they don't teach it like this in the church? Because they told the Christians, so they say, oh, Satan is the accuser of the Christians. He's laughing, he's like, no, I already got y'all in this deception. Nobody replaced Jacob, but you go ahead and believe that. He said, no, oh, he's the accuser of the people who started Israel. No, he's the accuser. That's what they're doing. They're the ones accusing the 12 tribes. Because remember, they claim to be the Levites. So when you see what happened was in the book of Maccabee, this is why they don't teach it to the Western Christians. The Eastern Christians, that's why they know this. They're like, hey, y'all keep believing these people, whatever. We know who they are. Because like they said, they've been kicked out of Europe several times. Okay? So now, the reason why you don't, that's why when the pastor was saying, we were told to stay away from you guys. Now why are we with you? You know why? This happened. The dragon came down and said, now you guys are buddy-buddy. And he put the spell on there and he said, yeah, you're going to be with these guys and you're going to be blah, blah, blah. Okay, the dragon is behind all that. He said, okay, now you're going to love these people. Now you're going to be with these people. Now you're going to fight for these people. Even though you were told to stay away from them all those years ago, now you guys are buddy-buddy. Because see, the problem is you didn't know Christianity at that time came from them in a certain kind of way. And you didn't know that it was the pagan worship of the god Zeus that was then adopted by Rome as the god Jupiter. That was that religion. They know this. It then became the dominant religion when they stole the knowledge of the Bana Bilaka and claimed it as theirs because of the false prophets and the false Messiah. Okay? So then this created where the devil was masquerading as good and evil the whole time. Yet again, he always going to play this game. Okay? They defeated him because of the Wanaba and because of the message of their witnesses. How did they defeat him? The birth of Toko came into play. Yeah, okay. The birth of Toko brought the Messiah back in spirit to now go and conquer and war against his kingdom. So the war against the Lamb started with the Fatima. This is why they call it the third secret. This is what Lucia was, this is why they didn't let anybody know or talk to her. Because her prophetic prophecies were misinterpreted on purpose, because she was telling them the one who will rule over the whole world is back in spirit. Well, you can't tell the Christians that because they think they're already talking to that person. No, you weren't. And see, because they had changed the image and they had modified the shroud, and I told people, man, don't think that that shroud is real. The devil got some tricks, boy, I'm telling you. And they hid away the real face and everything that he really looked like, because that's why the Eastern Orthodox churches by Rome were told to shut their mouth. You know, they said, that ain't him. Oh, shut your mouth. We going after the Bana Bilaka, or you're going to be going with us. Because the reason was they knew that if Esau was like, if Jacob come back, that's the end of all of us. You don't get it. We all going to be serving under him. Okay? Because see, the whole concept that they have mistaught the Europeans is we're all the same, when they were actually the guinea pigs for the project that they were going to do. Mystery Babylon. They helped, they used them. That's why when the one Jesuit said we started the Jesuits for the money that we were losing, because if you don't pay tithes and offerings to a fake church, okay, then the people who controlled it, they go broke. Okay? It was always about the money. Now, the reason why, but see, the whole point is the concept of putting up the monarchies was to continue. That's why when you go back to the story of Robin Hood and Little John and Prince Richard and King Richard and all the Lionhearted, these they put that man, oh, he fight for the people. The Most High said that was part of their way of keeping you in good spirits, that you have people fighting for the God of creation when it was all part of the game. We have a mission here, okay? We're bringing about the New World Order, which is really the old world order, since King Arthur in the Round Table. Yeah, that was part of the start of it. And the whole thing with the Hittites and all that. So they made it look like the king fights for the people when he's a people person, when really the people are deceived because you never stop worshiping Sol Invictus. They already knew that. Therefore rejoice, heaven, and you who live there, but woe to you, the land and the sea, and the adversary has come down to you, and he's very angry because he knows that he has a short time. So when he came down here, this is when history changed. All the knowledge that you knew from before the 1920s, all of a sudden now it was like they did a neuralizer. This is when he came after Black Wall Street and said, no, destroy that. These people can't be separate. This is when he started to tell them, you need to integrate them into the system. And it started a race war on purpose. And you need to use their own people against them and this and this and that. Okay, he started that. This is when he was starting to infiltrate the churches, and this is when they brought back the illegal Christmas, by the way, because Christmas was only celebrated, okay, in the in the 1800s. It was illegal. They knew it was a pagan holiday because we the ones that told them that. It's like, they said, first of all, he wasn't born then. They knew that the date was wrong. That was the whole purpose of creating the Gregorian calendar through the spirit of Lucifer, to change it up. Okay? They knew it was not right. So they brought the Christmas stuff, and all that stuff came back in the 1900s. strong, okay? Then they never changed the Easter, so they was always paid. Because they're like, no, that was not, that stayed there from Constantine. Okay? So when the dragon saw that he had been hurled down to the earth, he went in pursuit of the woman that had given birth to the male child. But the woman was given 2 wings of the great eagle. I told you, this is all the part of the Berlin Congo Conference, when they divided up Africa into different things. Because that happened in the 1800s, okay? And then they escalated it into the Congo. This is when, remember when Congo ceased to be considered a so-called kingdom, was in 1914. This is the reason why. This is part of it. Okay? So now, but the woman was given 2 wings in the great so that she could fly to her place in the desert, where she was taken care of for a season and 2 seasons and a half season, and away from the serpent's presence. The serpent spewed water like river out of his mouth after the water in order to sweep out the woman. I'm sure they had flooding in that time. They can probably put people else. I remember all that water that showed up. He put it. That's why he said, Africa has rainy seasons, but there could have been a time where this flood showed up out of nowhere. They're like, whoa, what is this? Okay. They knew what he was doing because people could see this in the spirit. That's why you had the sign show up again in Angola. It's actually where it was. Is that the sign showed up in Angola in 1918, and then she went and hid, and then he went after her with water. It opened his mouth. It opened his mouth and swallowed the river, but the river disappeared. But the lamb came to the rescue and opened his mouth and swallowed up the river which the dragon had spewed out of his mouth. The dragon can create water. Mai. The dragon was infuriated over the woman who went off to fight the rest of her children. Those who obey the Tanzami's commands bear witness to Yesiah. They say Yeshua. Who would be these people? These would be the people who would begin to be taught by the Mayamona who showed up to go back to the ways of the Most High. Now, he didn't get to finish it because he was still dealing with the people who were Christian-minded. Because every time he tried to put it back away, people don't get it. He could only go Malembe. So he kept it a certain way because of the fact that like I said, the dragon kept killing his children, the martyrs. He kept killing people. He's like, no, you're not going to do this. And he kept getting thrown into prison. He's like, and then he tried to run him over, and then he tried to do this, and he tried to throw him out the airplane because, the devil don't ever want to see anybody that can control him. No way. He hates Adama's, when Adama said, that's why he went after nKusuwa Kongo so hard. No, nobody going to be able to control me. That's why he went after nKusuwa Kongo's ministry so hard and his disciples, because nobody can have that blessing. That no one's going to be above me. That's why he went after Davidi so hard. That's why he went after Solomon so hard. He said, no one is going to control me like Katanzambi controls me. No way. Ain't going to happen. Okay? That's why he told him to create all this scientific stuff and to make the Christian think that you can do both. Because he said, the Bana Bilaka, no one can be above me and tell me what to do. So he's going to always find a way to mess up anyone that has been shown how to do these things. So the Bana Bilaka are those who are supposed to obey the Most High's commands and bear witness to Yesiah. However, does that mean we'll always do it right? No, because see, this is why you need the repentance on a regular basis, because they have changed the times and laws. Then the dragon stood on the seashore. What is the most powerful city in the world that started it all? What is it? Where did they put the UN? Okay, the UN then gave power to the beast. Let me tell you when they did it. Man, people don't even know the UN is not what you think. Go to, and people keep going over there, go to 17. Then came the Maliki with the 7 bowls and said, come, I will show you the judgment of the great whore that was sitting on many waters. The kings of the earth went whoring with her, and the people living on earth have come drunk from the wine of her whoring. This is why they put the modified version of the Colossus mixed with his mother in front of the harbor in New York, claiming to be Lady Liberty, when this is really a man dressed in drag. You don't know that. Who is combined with his mother as one. And she has that crown on her head is Sol Invictus crown. But they're not going to tell you that. Okay? So everybody going to the Statue of Liberty, oh yeah, this is so nice. And this is Sol Invictus, your god from Rome. Mixed with his mother, the harlot Mary. And then that's why they put his phallus. See, this is what I tell people. You have people who are saying that they went into Egypt for 400 years and built pyramids, right? And they run in the world. Why won't you tear these things down as if you had to build these things? It's like this all represents our slavery. So you want to get rid of it, correct? So then you also want to get any recognition of the same gods you had to serve while you were in captivity, right? You would want to get rid of the obelisk. You want to get rid of the pyramids. You want to get rid of these false gods because you had to serve them for 400 years in Egypt, right? Why would you tolerate this thing that you had to build if you are the chosen? As I said, you would hate these things. Oh, we had to build those obelisks and we had to build those pyramids. Why don't they hate those things and tear them down if they had to build those? Okay. The kings of the earth went whoring with her, and the people living on the earth have become drunk with the wine of her whoring. He carried me off in spirit to the desert, and I saw the woman sitting on the scarlet beast, full with blasphemous names and having 7 heads and 10 horns. What are the blasphemous names? All the names that she goes by, that the Most High can't stand them. Whatever she was called to every one of the nations that she betricked, those are her names. That's why she got several names, including the name of the Messiah's mother, which is a blasphemy. Oh, heck no, that ain't my mom. That's the one, that's your uncle. That ain't me. That's Uncle Scar. That's not my mom. Okay? That's your uncle. That's your granddaddy's mother. Wicked. Okay? So once again, we are worshiping ancestors that we have no business praying to. because they're going to make you go crazy, lose it, do wicked things, do things you shouldn't do. That's why you're under the Kindoki now. We never stop doing what the heathens do. Like he said, don't do to cut the tree down and all this other stuff. The Christians don't know what that Christmas tree represents. And they put it in their church. And then they're going to tell you, oh, no, because they said, oh, that's a lie. I've had people tell me, oh, that's a lie. They told us, of course they're going to tell you that. Because the people who made you do it, they don't serve the same God that they should be. They hate him. They don't like him, and they want you to do the things that make him angry. Because their job, they are the bounty hunters of the Bana Bilaka. That's why they lied about who they are and their image. They know who the Bana Bilaka are. So they're trying to get rid of them and using you to help them. Okay? They are doing exactly like they did in the movie that Eddie Murphy said, we're coming after the golden children. You know what? He was one of them. That's why. They flipped those people. Man, you don't even understand. The people in Hollywood are some of these children that they used like this, that he ran after. That's why he took the most talented and gifted, and they're using them to now sing for him and act for him and worship him. And oh yeah, Lord God, Jesus. You don't even know the Jesus that they keep saying is Horus, the God of the George Washington Monument is their Jesus. That's why it's sitting in front of the Roman Empire's church. The Michelangelo Basilica is sitting there with a phallic, and then they got the cross that they changed it. That cross existed in Babylon, Mesopotamia, and Egypt on the walls with the Ankh. The Ankh goes back to Lilith, not to Eva. Okay. Isis, their mother, of course. That is not the Bana Betu. We do not worship that grandmother. That is a witch. We go to, and that's why they got you praying like that in the Catholic Church. When the real Malia showed up, they were like, oh, we got to cover this up. We can't tell you who it was. It wasn't Ishtar. It was the real one. She brought the real king back in spirit so that he could come and fix the church that they messed up. That's what he was doing. That's why he went to prison 17 times, because the Most High said, oh, yeah, you can't, because he didn't want, remember, like he said, I'm not here to bring down fire upon these people like he told the Tokuists. He said, I was never told to kick out the Portuguese. Okay? Dr. King, who was doing the nonviolence, he said he was copying Gandhi. Oh boy. You want to know who Gandhi was copying and he lied about it? Toko. Toko was nonviolent. Even though they were making Gandhi look like a Messiah type person to his people. The problem was Gandhi was wicked. He wasn't like you think. Okay? Toko, when he showed up, he was acting exactly like Messiah. With no gun, with none of these weapons that they use in nowadays when Malcolm said, by any means necessary, I'm gonna shoot you, okay? He found out, wait a minute. That's why when I was talking to our elder, I said, brother, Farrakhan knows exactly who you're talking about because he knows what happened. They know why they shot Malcolm. Because he was going to start following Toko's way then and unify Africa like Toko was talking about, to Patrice Lumumba, to you don't think that Mandela knew about him? Yes, he did. Mandela knew about Toko. They were all of the people were talking about this guy in Africa. They're like, what? This Black Jesus guy, what is he doing? He was giving the people hell up there. They saw what he did with the Maliki Kongo when they came down. This is why they had to cover it all up so that America didn't get wind of this and say, wait a minute, who is this guy? Because America and Europe were based off of what image? Leper Cain, the white Jesus. And then the Jewish people, they told the world, we are the people. And they told their own people, we are the chosen. So now, if you reveal this guy to the world, it blows up the whole 1900 years of deception. And it destroys our science. And it destroys Islam. He would have destroyed, man. They knew if Islam would have found out about him, it would have destroyed Islam. They knew it. It would have ruined the Judea. It would have ruined all three religions. And on top of that, it would have exposed the scientific community on all the stuff that they made up. There was no evolution. It would have exposed that. There was no dinosaurs and these type of things that they keep that really would have dragged these creatures that they made. It would have exposed the lies of the Anunnaki to the people that were believing in them. Okay? So now, when Kimbangu prophesied about the king that was to come, it was Toko. And then Toko said, now I will, because you won't let me finish, I will send more like me, and you will not be able to stop them. That is why now the king that is supposed to come to finish it off, and they lied to people about the fact that Kimbangu was not prophesying by Mfumu Yisu. Oh, yes, he was. He said the final battle would be against General Thade. He's already here fighting. This is why Africa United, but they're making it look like, oh, the Masons. No, this is when he said, the Most High said, Revelation 17, I am in the midst of them. I am in their hearts. They're doing what I say, but they think it's their idea. No, it's him. He's got them tricked. It's like it's like when they say you're playing right into my hands. This is what's going on with their organization. They're playing right into the hands of the Most High. They're not playing the chess game with him no more, because he already making all the moves on both sides. There ain't no chess game going on no more, because he's playing all the moves on both sides. They don't even see that. Every decision that the dragon is making, the Most High is in the midst. So he's playing the dragon for a fool, because it's like, you playing right into my hands. I'm doing exactly the way this is going to play out. Okay? So when the dragon thinks, or when the imposters think that they're doing it their way, It's like, no, you're doing it what I wanted. Exactly how it's playing out. But then when you go after the Bana Bilaka now, it goes against you because your time is up. So when you try to do all the things to destroy now the children of the promise, it backfires because the time is up. So this is what continues to happen, but they're covering it up. Okay? Babel the Great, the mother of whores. It said the woman, okay, so she carried off. Okay, so once again, there's 7 heads and 10 horns. This represents all of our captivities and the kingdoms. And I saw the drunkard, and that was from the blood. The people testify is Yesue. We didn't say Yeshua. That's his Yiddish. His name was Bantu, Yeshua. He's a Chuluba. On seeing her, I was astounded. Then the Maliki said, "Why are you astounded? I will tell you the hidden meaning of." Now it says, "I will tell you the hidden meaning of the woman of the beast and the 7 heads and the 10 horns that were carrying her. The beast you saw was now, and is not, and will come from the abyss." So he's saying the beast has always been here. He's always. This is what they're tricking you. He is always. He is there. He was before. He is now, and he is to come. He's always been here, okay? You don't understand this. All right? So he said the beast you saw was, so that means he's been running, like I said, he's been with Cain since the jump, since the beginning. All of these wicked kingdoms that rose up and went down. Now, and is not, and will come from the abyss, but is on its way to destruction. What destruction? Revelation 9:11. The pit. This is why he is, when he's saying that he's on his way to destruction, he is carrying everybody with him and including trying to get a hold of the wheat to go with. How does he do that? He uses the people. You don't understand. They're in places to do this, to help you go to the destruction with him. The people living on earth whose names have not been written in the book of life since the founding of the world will be astounded to see the beast that once was, now is, but is to appear. So what he's saying, your name is not written in the book. You're going with the beast to his destruction. This is why he tricked the world to think that everybody can be written in the book and chosen when that is not possible. He is pursuing the people who are chosen. Always. He says, no, I'm trying to destroy these people while making you think that that's why they created a system to ruin the Bana Bilaka, not to help them. And they use the whole world as an accomplice. We're destroying the chosen, but we're thinking you're doing the opposite. That's why they keep doing the hand signals with the pyramid upside down. Okay? It says because the Most High turned the world over to Shaitani when that king of Judah, when that king of Judah messed up, okay, the Most High turned it over to the beast. So this is a future prophecy of Rome. This is why people will say Rome is the Antichrist. Babylon is the Antichrist, and Rome is the reinvention of it. Canaan was the Antichrist, and Rome is that reinvention of it. I told you, they keep reinventing themselves. People say, oh, they stole our gods. The white people stole our gods. No, they didn't steal nothing. Those gods flip sides. Boom, 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 boom. They always doing this. Black, white, Asian, whatever, it's the same stupidity. They keep tricking people. Okay? All right. So now it says here, 5 have fallen, 1 is living now. The beast which was and now is to come is the 8th king. And it comes from the 7 and is on its way to destruction. That's where you have been for the last 100 years. And they actually just, what they do is they keep changing positions, because that's what our presidents represent, is this 8th king. Okay. They will go to war against the Mfumu, but the Mwana Dimeme, will defeat them, because he is the Mfumu and King of Kings, and those who are so-called chosen and faithful will overcome along with him. Okay? This war started with him from the time he was born. In spirit. To say that Simon Toko is now the king of the world. That's why you have to be attached to him to get to the Most High now. But you cannot also, how is it supposed to be? You're supposed to be like him. The same way the Messiah said it. He said, you're not getting it. You become my Amona like me when you worship the Most High in spirit and in truth. Now you will become a disciple and you become the Nzoan zombie. But what happens again? We make a tabernacle. We want to say, oh, we're going to build a tabernacle. No, you are the tabernacle. So that's why I told you the 3rd temple has been built already. They just don't know it, because the people who are behind it are the people who are deceiving people. They work for the beast and not telling you. The 3rd temple has been built, and where the original temple was. The original temple is not where you think. That's why they're covering it up. I told you, when Ramses fought the Hittites, there was no Jerusalem there. There was no land of the Philistines, because the Egyptians owned the land. So we were not there. So then said, the waters that you saw was the whore sitting, and the people's crowd, nation, and language. For the 10 horns that you saw and the beast, they will hate the whore and bring her to ruin. Where is this representation at? This is why you're going to say, when Barack Obama, they asked him, they said, I'm worried about a nuclear bomb going off in Manhattan. They said, what? Why are you worried about Manhattan? There's your code. Why do you think the UN is in New York? They gave the power to the beast when they approved the nation, the country, and the establishment of the state of Israel in Palestine. The problem is, as the Palestinians will say, is that they're saying this is art. They said no, they're both wrong. That land was the northern kingdom of the Bakongo people. And where Judah is, Yaoundé and Namibia, that's the southern kingdom of Bakongo people. Because I told you that we split because of Solomon's grandson, who was not helping us. Okay? So when they talk about what happened with 70 AD, oh, do not listen to anybody Masonic with that. Because, see, many of us were up there during the war that started with Rome. And those who were going with the churches, we fled to where the direction the churches would be. And then many of us then broke camp and ran down to the other. We saw how the Romans were killing these people, and we went back to the other kingdom. But that kingdom was overran by the Canaanites, the other people. So we kept running away. We had to stay hidden, because that area was also, because of what happened with Rome, it was being infiltrated. That's why the Most High, when he brought us back into our kingdom, there was a war that they're not telling you about, that they remember and they hid it. Oh, now we know who the God of Isolde is, when he cleared a path for the kingdom of Congo in the 1800s, no, in the 1300s. They said, oh, their God is back. This is not good for us. Don't think Micaiah didn't go to work back then. Okay? And he said, so then and see, the problem is, this is part of Prophecies that was in the original text, that they burned it. They destroyed it. They knew we were going to get real. They knew this was coming. So then at that point, that's why when you say, oh, they got a revelation 800 years ago. No, they got notified. We got to go to work. The Bana Bilaka are going to start to come back and raise up their kingdom over me. This cannot happen. The prophecy is coming to pass. The Yehuda king is coming to his throne. If we don't deal with this, he'll be coming back. Because now the Yehuda king is holding the placeholder for his temple to come down. But we had not fulfilled the prophecy yet of going back into captivity, where that would bring the end of the earth. Our final captivity would be the end of the world, where the Messiah would come to rescue his bride from the dragon. That's why they flipped it. He would come to rescue his bride. Okay? And they have been fighting this war so that you wouldn't know he's been here trying to rescue his bride, like they mocked it in Coming to America, like they mocked it in all these other things that he did, Star Wars and everything. And they put him in that, I told you the show, I said Black Lightning, the principal in the suit that was powerful, and he was incognito. They've always been doing this concept that you have a hidden Messiah that's working to get his bride to come back and calling for his sheep. But they are at war with him. The overcoming of them is the Most High's day. He will overcome them with what? Ezekiel 37. His army. The Most High. The day of Tatanzambi and Pungu. That's what they're waiting for. Like, when are they going to break their sermon? Oh, they already building, that the guy was talking about in the video. Oh, he was being scoped, getting to tell you where the outer space is. The outer space is really the land beyond the wall. The land beyond the ice wall. That's the outer space. And you go down into the earth, okay, to get to heaven. They have all the fallen angel things built under the water, because hell is here. Those chariots come from, around the outer space. Yeah, past the wall, the ice wall, where you have Asgard and these other islands and other stuff, and they got another little Egypt and all these other things where they hide, okay? But they come to make sure that the Bana Bilaka don't ever put Azazel, the one of all sin, away for good. That's why they're trying to protect him. But at the same time, they're also trying to free him from his prison, and they cannot do that. Because the Most High said he stays there and can never come out ever again. Okay? So now, the one that has been, so the trickery was, the one that was ascribed all sin is the one that you're thinking is your Lord and Savior, while you are rejecting the one who never sinned against the Most High. And everybody's coming up with their vision and their interpretations because of the bounty hunters on the chosen, the wheat. The tares are always hunting the wheat so that the wheat don't what? Judge them. Okay? So now, anyone who was in favor of a unified Africa was a threat because they know what the Berlin Conference really was. Like I said, not all tribes in Africa were the same. They know who the Bana Betu are. There's a difference. They know the Bana Betu, the Bantu people, are not the same as the other tribes. But they made the Bantu people turn on themselves when he said, brother will turn against brother and kill each other. And see, when they made the Christian world believe it was them, it's like, no, you were already doing that. You never stopped. Even before you learned about the Messiah, you never stopped. You just now took that as an excuse to keep killing each other. And they still are. You see what they're doing right now. Oh, I'm a Muslim. Oh, I'm a Christian. Oh, Judaism. It's all part of the mind game of the watchers playing people while they go hunting for their real prey. That's why you have all the wolves in sheep's clothing looking for the children of the promise, which are the ones that were written in the Lamb's book. That's why not everybody who says they come from the Most High is from the Most High. They are hunting with the wolves. They are looking for the chosen to eat, not to save. And they have been doing this since the Kingdom of Congo fell. Okay? So now, this is why we keep saying that the world is blinded by those who lead the blind. This is why we say, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed God is king, because we went back to thinking that our grandfather was the Most High, and that his mother is the Holy Spirit, and that their child is the Messiah, like when they tricked them back in the day, weeping for Tammuz, and doing all of the Canaanite and Babylonian, and that's why I said, why do you think anybody who is not with the Most High is going to take you back to the Sumerian garbage when that's the Canaanites deceiving you? Because they want to be on top because they were the dogs. So they have infiltrated everywhere to be on top and never be the dogs, including our kingdom. That's why they're going to tell people, oh, anti this, anti that, oh, this and this and that. When they're playing both sides, they're on both sides, the good and the bad. Because they hate the people that they had to serve under when they were given the curse. So the Bana Betu were taken into captivity by the very people the Messiah said, you get the bread, the crumbs. But they are mixed into all the civilizations that hate King Kongo, whether they know it or not. And this is why the historical record is not accurate. Because they work for the goat god. You're not running from the goat god. You're going right to him, the one that was ascribed all sin. Okay? This is what they're saying, that they're going to destruction. All right, I'm going a little too long, but all right, so now I'm going to go to the lost scriptures of Isaiah, of Yisu Klistu. And it's going to be the letter to his brother, the gospel of Yoane, the grieving. It says, the master said to me, you can see now my deliverance will be fulfilled. I gave you an indication these things would happen, my brother, Yanes. Although, if you, let me go help me show you how I know this is Yaounde. Let's go to, that's what I was looking for earlier. Let's see if it's going to let me do it. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. That's why I hope that you will wiki Chila, because like I said, the 400 years ended with when he became, when the Most High, when he started his ministry over in 1949, he became the end of the 400 years. Now the 1619 to 2019, let me tell you what that is. Okay. That was a gentleman's agreement between the Knights Templars of the, let me see if it's going to give me the name in the translation. Jacobo, see? Jacobo. Okay. Jacobo is James. Okay. My mPadi Jacobo, although I call you mPadi, you are not actually my mPadi. Also, I have not been ignoring you. So when I give you an instruction, understand it and hear it. See, that's what I said. When nKusuwa Kongo, when he gives instructions, you got to understand it and hear it. That's why many Christians, they don't understand nothing of this. Nothing existed before Yahweh Kongo, Tatanzambe. He is indescribable and unparalleled. I am also indescribable because I am from Yahweh. That's why he said, you cannot connect with the Messiah unless you cannot know him unless he chose you, because he's indescribable too. I have been described differently, but from Tatanzambi Yahweh, I have received two names. As for myself, I became manifest before you. What is the second name? Since you have attested concerning the subordinate was created, but the subordinate wasn't first. Yet from her came demigods and authorities. Who is she that he's talking about? Why do you think this is not in the scriptures? our wicked step-grandmother, the first real woman. This would have proven that Lilith existed. They didn't put this in the scripture because you would have found out, oh, dang, that's the harlot, that's the woman. Yes. Then the Christians would have found out that's the Mary they're talking to. And she's the one hunting the Bana Bilaka. But she didn't exist when I became manifest, for I was made in the image of Yahweh, Kongo. Why do you think they want to put that leper Cain image and the leprous fallen angels as your Messiah to the Bantu people? That had, man, let me tell you something. That white Jesus had nothing to do with the Gentiles. They have been bamboozled with this. They have been, man, that image was to trick the Bana Bilaka, period. So that when Toko showed up, Satan was your God to the Bana Bilaka. It don't matter what the other people think, okay? Because the Europeans were already part of the scam. They got leper Cain. They got, when it says, now Biff, don't con me, they got conned by Cain. They got played because he was coming after the woman's children with the dragon. Yet I have delivered his likeness in order that the followers of Yahweh Kongo would know those things that they are foreign. Look, I will reveal all these confidential things to you because they will be arresting me that day after the morning, but my deliverance is almost here. Yakobo said, Labi. This is how we would have said rabbi, Labi. We didn't say rabbi, we said Labi. And you said, they will capture me, but what can I do? He said, don't be afraid, Yakobo. They will also capture you, but you should depart from Salama because she always serves a cup of bitterness to the followers of illumination. That's why he told us to get out of Dodge. Peace out. Because what happened? It was perverted. It had become tainted. Because who was running it? Satan. Satan was now in charge when he wasn't supposed to be there with King Herod, the Sanhedrin, all these different things. He said, get out of Dodge because the Most High is going to tear it all down. Because Satan cannot rule the Most High city. No way. So he had to send the Messiah to tell you to get out of Dodge because Tatanzam is going to tear all this down because the devil messed it up. The Most High cannot have a world and a city where Satan controls that city. No way. He has to tear it down. So now you see how they messed your head up. Oh yeah, God blesses America, God blesses Europe, God. No, because all of these Satan, all these cities, your leaders who run it work for the devil. The UN works for the devil. Don't tell them that. They won't play the game. You played the game. Because they went all the time. Because it was about the Bana Bilaka. The king of the world had already come. And they've been hiding it from you. Simon Toko, that guy, not the one they buried in 84, he runs the world. He's the one in charge of everything. The one that they try to take his heart out and do the plane and everything, that is the king of the world. Everybody else, okay, is an imposter. They have no authority whatsoever to the Creator. Because the Messiah came inside of him to fix all of what they had done. That's why the Pope said, give me your church. And he said, no, because you are Babylon. And see, the protest, they thought they got away from that. And see what Toko was trying to do, why they kept throwing him in jail 17 times, was to get us away from the pagan system that they created. But you have to remember, the imposter, he's going to want to stop that, always. He don't want us to go back to how we were back in the days of the Kingdom of Congo, where we're following the Bantu calendar, we were following the Bantu days of the week, we're following the right feast days, we're going according to the spiritual temple. He don't want that. He want everybody to be the carnal temple, thinking you're the spiritual temple, and following the pagan holidays that was created by saying he had the authority to change it. Telling you, the world don't even know what has happened to so many of their ancestors over the last several hundred years. They have been lying to the Christians for 1900 years. Since Nero burned down Rome, they've been lying to the Christians. Okay? They don't even know. And they for sure have been lying to Islam. And we know Judaism, that's all part of their game. They are the hunters of the Bana Bilaka. Okay? In order that so that's why they take a lot of us who are X-Men and they use our power against us. And they have turned us against each other. And they are using the power that they have to continuously keep people in their spells and belief. So like I told people, the matrix is now coming down, but they ain't going to tell you who's doing that. King Kongo is bringing it down. And now you're going to see who was running the show and what he was doing when they put it in the Wizard of Oz. It's the end. This is what our job was to do. Bring down the wizard. And they said, no, these type of people, they got to be destroyed. Get rid of these people. If you're going to expose our wizard, we're done. You see? That's the whole reason why they had to go and confuse the three Simon followers and Boisi to say, oh no, this and this and that. No. Toko even said, we are the spiritual temple of Nzambe. And the Messiah will come with the physical temple later. He will build his city. He will do these things. Because why? Because the tares are all over the place. And they are perverting the creation. And they have turned it into an abomination. And they think they're doing it right when they are wrong. You cannot create a world with carnal knowledge. You have to create a world with spiritual knowledge. Okay? Yeah, people don't get it. Everything was designed to come after the children of the promise, the golden children, the people who were able to be like Maya Mona. Okay? Because technically, like I said, he was the king over Elizabeth, the king of everybody. He's above the Pope. Okay, he's above Biden. He's above all of them. Okay, he's above Putin and he's above the president of Angola and Congo. He is. That's why you have two versions of a Maya Mona being preached. Always. I told you, the real Messiah, he wants many Maya Monas. The fake Messiah, he only wants to be the Maya Mona and nobody else. That's why I have told people, you cannot be the only one. There are many Maya Monas, just like he said. If you are like Messiah and you are like the Most High and you are mPadi, then we are all Messiah. The devil has tricked the whole world into worshiping one God. When he said, I come to make many of me and to do as I do and to do my way. And they ran interference. They always run interference. The devil don't want that. That's why he said, I did not come to bring peace but a sword. Because he said, I came to divide the people who don't want to be like me, you go have it worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. The people who want to be like me, yeah, you're going to suffer, but we will have peace. Because he suffered at the hands of those people. But then you will have eternal peace and never die. That's why you're living in a world now where people are dying all the time, thinking that they have peace. Okay? Okay. The master said, now watch this. There are 72 universes. What did these represent? The original tribes that came from the ark. There's a place for every one of these people. And that's why the portals are connected to where you come from and what lineage you come from. And the one you want to go to is the one that comes from Bana Betu. They are manifested by the great authorities. They are spread throughout, manifested under the authority of the 12 magistrates. Their lesser strength was manifested for the Malakis and the unaccountable keepers. However, Yahweh Kongo received on the basis of, by the numerous, if you seek to count them, you will be able to, unless you depart from the blindness of the shackles of the flesh that bind you, then you will reach. Okay, so how does it work? Now, this is what I told you. Religion is connected, so you don't disconnect from the shackles of the flesh, but you think that you have transcended. This is why you can get people that seem spiritual, but they are still bound by the puppet master. So they manifest power like him, but they are still his slaves. Then you will no longer be Yakubi. Instead, you will be Yahweh's. And the accountable, Yahweh Kongo, and the accountable will praise his name. That's why they disconnected us from our spirituality. They did not want us praising his name anymore, but Baal. See? So then when you go praising Baal, you never become with the Most High anymore. You stay in the fleshly mindset, reprobate-minded, thinking you got the truth when you're living a lie. And this is what they did to come after the wheat. They wanted to destroy the wheat and their God by you not praising him anymore. So that's why, how did the Messiah overcome in the war? All the continents that have been watching this awakening are now knowing the true name of the Father. And he is now being praised. However, you must not be attached to the Ra's Legion God at the same time. You cannot be. You either serve one or the other. And that's why when Toko came, he said, be careful of the wicked elders. And he told the Kimbanguists the same way. There are Kimbanguists that are not doing the right path. That's why Kindoki is always around the corner. Because anybody that, let me say it again. Anybody that the Most High sends is teaching you to be like Messiah, not waiting for Messiah. To be obedient to the law, statutes, and commandments according to the way, not to anybody else's way but his. Because the sorcerer is always going to put you on the sun worship day. And even if you're not on the sun worship day, you're going to still be worshiping the pagan gods, like Saturn's day. That's why Tatanzambi says our days of the week and our months have nothing to do with the nation's gods. Never did. And this is what Toko was trying to get people to connect with, that for whatever reason, he said, but what was happening is the people that controlled Angola were starting to lose money. Oh no, this ain't gonna work. Kick him out of Congo, kick him out of here. And if he gets to America, oh no, that'll crash us. Because if they find out he is the king of the world, it's over. Boom. That's why they killed our prophets over here. Because they found out, oh wow, that's the king. This is why they went to go after everybody around the world from there. And they use all the excuses that they have been making. Oh, Russia, this, that, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Oh no, this and that. African spirituality. They came up, they made up all this stuff. Now there is, the Kimbangu prophesied and they hated it. There he said, oh yeah, we're going to bring the one Africa back, but we will be he said, but I am also saving my people. Well, who are they? The Bana Betu will be solid. They said, oh, no way. So that's why they went after all the African leaders and said, you will cooperate with us. And anybody talking about one Africa, heck no. Nah. We're going to take care of that. You better work for us. Okay? So now that it is happening, and of course, the Most High used Putin for that, which is fine. But that doesn't mean it's just like King Cyrus. He said, go and build your temple. Now, people were wondering, now, why did Trump and Putin become buddy-buddy? I'm not saying that Trump is the good guy, because he is like King Cyrus. He's a Babylonian king. Okay? Cyrus was still worshiping Nimrod, but he was anointed by the Most High to free the Most High people. But see, the world does not know this prophecy because the Christians think they are the prophecy, when they are the hunters of the Bana Bilaka with the wolves to help destroy the house of Tatanza, the house of the Most High, not build it. That's what they've been doing for the last 1900 years. Destroy the house of the Creator, not build it. Islam, destroy the house of the Most High, not build it. Judaism, they've been destroying the house of the Most High and not building it. Because why? He destroyed their house. What was their house? The Tower of Babel. What was the replacement? The Pyramid of Giza. Sol Amon. And the temple in Moab, not the Inzoan Zombie. Okay? All praises. That's why King Kongo says the 72 powers, this is why the number 9 is so important. We have, like he said, there's the manifestation of these universes. Does that mean this is the different levels, okay, that they don't talk about, that you got to use? You have to go to them in spirit, not in the flesh. You have to be in this interaction in the spirit, not in the flesh. So then these, as we said, these things, when you become like the Most High, this manifests inside of you. You are these 72 universes. The power is in you. You are the manifest of the great authorities, okay? But you cannot be your own God like the pharaohs. No, that's stupid. You have to go through the God and his Mwanda, and you have to be connected to the one who was never a sinner. But then you become gods when this happens. It's not a physical temple, it's a spiritual temple. But then the physical temple, that's why only Mfumu Yisu can occupy the position of the physical temple. Because he is the one that didn't sin. Mayamona, Simon Toko, he was born and he sinned and he had to be changed. Okay? He had to be changed in order to receive nKusuwa and become purified. Even though he was born of the woman. That's why he said, I am not he, but he is with me. And because he was with him, he became the king of the earth. So that's why they got people talking about, oh no, Kimbangu was better. No, Kimbangu was there to announce him. He said, he will come after me. And then he said, there will be more like me. There will be others. And that's where the hunt started when he told him that. All right. Kimbo Kimana Tatanzambi, Bayate nKosi, Ingita, Zola Kwingi, Sambololo, and a wizard Yabe Kongo Kutwala, Ingita. Isu Embobese, and Wiza Kamono Kina, Samana, Samana, Kuswa Kongo and Vuluzi, Lele, 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 Ingita, hallelujah.